Hey party people, it's been a while. I haven't done a video update and it's now the fourth week, I think. Fourth week? No, third week? Third or fourth week of the semester. It's my 7th semester, if that sounds right. I've started writing my dissertation. I'm working on my 3rd chapter. I have a draft of my first 2 chapters, the introduction and the lit review. The lit review kind of consumed my life for the past several months. Excuse me. So that was really fun in some ways. Yeah, but it was good. I'm happy with it. We'll see how my advisor feels about it. I just went to yoga for the first time in a while, and my body needed that a lot. My body also kind of hates me right now because there were lots of things that we did in class this evening that hurt. So I need to make sure that I am doing that at least once a week. I have off Thursday evenings, and I set that time aside supposedly so that I could go to yoga every week. But here we are, week 4 or whatever it is, and this is the first time I've gone. I did go a few times over the summer, so yeah. But yeah, Thursday evenings, like I said, I don't work. The other evenings of the week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I am overseeing our new, what we're calling the digital studio in the department, which is one of the classrooms that has a bunch of Mac machines in it and a bunch of large TV screens, monitors that can be used for various things, projects, and students to look at their own work in a large format. So we opened up for students in any English class, or if they're an English major, they can use the studio to study, to work on any of the applications that we have on those computers. They have the Adobe suite, they have things like Atom and Text Wrangler for people that are working with code, and just a bunch of things that a lot of people might not have on their regular machines at home or their laptops because, Adobe, it's expensive. So they can also print assignments for their classes if they need to print something to turn it in to their professor, or print something for the purposes of going to class. And then also we're piloting online tutoring services for technical writing students, which is part of my dissertation project. We have 3 interns that are working with us in the studio, which is very exciting. All 3 of them are professional and technical writing majors, so they are quite adept at a couple of areas, or I should say multiple areas, that would be applicable to the kinds of assignments that students would do in the technical writing service course. So far, we haven't had any appointments yet. I'm sort of sad about that, not gonna lie. But it is only the first couple weeks of classes, and a lot of students probably haven't gotten to the point where they're feeling the pressure yet. So I think one of the challenges is going to be convincing students to use the studio, at least the students for my study purposes, because from the data that we have on the class, students tend to pass it with fairly good grades. The average GPA of the class is 3.55, so most students are getting a pretty decent B in the class, it sounds like. And that might spell difficulty for the service I want to pilot, because students might think, this isn't a very difficult class and therefore I don't need tutoring. I think that's a difficult mindset to get around, because people think that they should get tutoring when they're having trouble with something. And you can be having trouble with something without getting a terrible grade on it, right? I mean, I'm not getting a grade on my dissertation. I don't get a grade on any of the work that I do at this point in time, but that doesn't stop me from using the Writing Center and its resources. So, yeah, we're just gonna have to see how that works out. I might have to see if I can ask one of my colleagues if they'll give their students extra credit or something to come in for tutoring and or use the space. So yeah, that's what I do on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday evenings, and then Friday afternoons. So yeah, that's what I've got going on in the evenings, and then during the day I've been working on my dissertation. So doing a lot of reading and writing during the day. My second chapter ended up clocking in at around 21,000 words. So it's about it's a little over 70 pages double spaced. So that's fun. Super fun. But I'm bringing together two different fields, so I kind of feel like it's necessary to do that. We need to cover a lot of ground in order for the reader to understand how the study is situated and how I'm looking at all of these different areas of scholarship in order to do this study. So hopefully my advisor and the rest of my committee agree, because one of the things they said at my prospectus defense was that like I only had one source at that time on technical writing pedagogy. So I have expanded that significantly and also looked at pedagogy in online courses, which is pretty important to the DIS. So yeah, trying to cover all of those bases and make sure that everybody's happy. Right now I'm working on my methods section, which is pretty interesting and has me really thinking about what I want to do for the rest of my career, you know, what I want my research agenda to focus on. And as I look more into user experience and service design in tech comm studies, the more I just keep thinking about the fact that online education is really prime for user experience studies, and yet I feel like, at least in tech comm and the writing fields, I don't really see a lot of that happening. There was a really good article actually this year, that was published on a user experience approach to a Writing Center problem, and I thought that was really cool. And I think that there's ways that we can expand that into Writing Centers more fully, and also into the teaching of writing online. So I'm not just concerned about Writing Centers, but also, you know, the teaching of writing more broadly in online spaces. So yeah, it's got me really excited about the potential research trajectory I have, and also thinking about what kind of institution is going to allow me to do that research and do it well. So that's something that I have to be thinking about as I go on to the job market this semester, which is very exciting and also a little bit terrifying, and lots of things, lots of feelings. People mostly like to talk about how terrible the job market experience is, and I don't know, I prefer to not focus on that part. I mean, I'm not saying that bad things won't happen or anything like that. I'm not trying to be naive, but I'm trying to keep a really open mind about where I might end up and what kind of place that might be. So, you know, you just you don't know unless you try. So that's a very cheesy cliche, but it's pretty true. So anyway, before I bore bore you to absolute death, and I don't think I have much room left on my phone. I think I'm gonna have to wrap it up. So I'm going home to a dinner that my husband is grilling for us, which should be pretty tasty and exciting. And I hope to do more of these this semester, and hopefully I'll have more to report on.